When entering a competitive field like business or YouTube, we're often told that we must battle our competition within the rules of that game. But real success comes not from battling these competitors at their own game, but by instead identifying opportunities to create our own games. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim and Renee Mauborgne, which is all about redefining how we look at entering competitive fields to set ourselves up for lasting success and make competition irrelevant. Through a study of over 150 strategic moves across 30 years and 100 industries, the book explores how some organizations are able to enter an extremely competitive market with fixed rules and stack the deck in their favor, creating a new game they can win at. And although this book is designed for a business audience, it really applies to any creative competitive field where you're battling for market share or eyeballs, like YouTube. So basically, there's 4 key insights from this book that we're going to talk about in turn. Firstly, we'll talk about the idea of red oceans versus blue oceans, and how one will set you up for failure and the other could lead to long-lasting success. Secondly, why we should stop trying to beat the competition and instead focus on value innovation. Thirdly, how to use a strategy canvas to uncover the current state of play in your field and identify opportunities for growth. And finally, the 4 actions framework that will help you redefine how your game is played. So firstly, what are red oceans and blue oceans and why should we care? Well, it's all about choosing whether to compete in an ocean that is filled with sharks all fighting over the same fish, eating each other, fighting for those fish, or choosing to compete in open waters that have no other sharks in them and there's plenty of fish all for you. So red oceans are those that have a lot of sharks in them, a lot of companies all fighting over the same audience. They spend more and they charge less, which destroys their profits. Blue oceans, on the other hand, are new markets that do not exist today. There's no competition because a new game has been created. And individuals and companies that operate in blue oceans have an untapped audience and limitless upside, and most are born from within red oceans. So then how does this idea apply to YouTube? Well, like business, there's a lot of established markets or niches on the platform. Tech reviewers, vlogs, challenges, each of these are what I would consider to be red oceans. A lot of channels all competing for the same viewership. So let's say, for instance, you like tech reviews. You're only going to watch so many tech review channels because you have a limited number of hours each day. But thousands upon thousands of channels are all competing to try and get your viewership. These channels spend more and more to compete against each other for this audience, still getting pretty similar views, which over the long term is unsustainable. And if you were to start a tech review channel like these other channels today, well, good luck. But this is where blue oceans come in, because blue oceans use value innovation to essentially create a new niche, a whole new category with a brand new audience. Which leads us on to key point number 2 from the book, value innovation, which is the cornerstone of blue ocean strategy. From a business point of view, this is all about lowering the costs it takes to run your business while simultaneously increasing the value you deliver to your audience. And the book provides a great example in the form of Cirque du Soleil, which I was actually lucky enough to see with my family a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. But Cirque du Soleil entered the well-established circus market, where it was fiercely competitive and the rules of the game were well defined. A traditional circus had to have certain features and acts, like a big top, tightrope walkers, clowns, and animal acts. And they all competed by tweaking these acts, seeking more circus famous clowns and lion tamers, and focusing heavily on animals, all of which drastically increased their costs without dramatically increasing the value delivered to their audience. And on top of that, they were targeting children and families who often don't spend big at these types of things. Cirque du Soleil, on the other hand, did something different. They offered the same fun and thrills that you would get from a circus performance, but instead of the somewhat childish nature, they provided an intellectual sophistication and artistic richness that you would get from a theater performance at the same time. They completely got rid of their animal acts, which were actually becoming problematic with animal rights groups and were also very expensive to maintain and look after. They also kept the big top for the atmospheric feel it provided, kept the clowns, but instead of making them slapstick, they made them more sophisticated. And then they added a storyline, plus music and dance performances, and multiple productions. And the shows they ended up creating appealed less to children and more to adults and corporate clients who were willing to pay several times as much to see them. The only way to beat the competition is to stop trying to beat the competition. Key point number 3 from the book is a tool we can use to map out our competition, to identify common trends and new opportunities that we can position ourselves for to see lasting success. And it focuses on the principal factors we compete on. For example, let's take the circus industry again and create a strategy canvas for it. Now, they would traditionally compete on the following factors. The circus was pretty low priced, included a lot of star performers, had a lot of animal performances, focused a lot on aisle concessions, had multiple show arenas that you could go between, lots of fun and humor, high thrills and danger, and had a pretty standard venue that almost always looked and felt the same. And when we connect those dots, we now have their value curve. But let's now look at what Cirque du Soleil did, which was almost the opposite. They charged significantly higher prices, got rid of all star performers, no animal shows, little to no focus on aisle concessions, had only one show arena. They kept the fun, humor, thrills, and danger of the traditional circus, but made their venues a unique experience and setting each time. But on top of this, they added a theme to their shows, a refined watching environment, multiple productions, and also used artistic music and dance, which left them with a completely different value curve and completely new offering to the market. And so the strategy canvas can really help you map out what your competition is doing right now and help you identify ways that you can make your business or YouTube channel different. Key point 4 from the book is the 4 actions framework, which will help you create a new value curve and help you open a blue ocean of untapped potential. The first action is that we can reduce certain factors well below what the competition or industry would think standard. For example, a business significantly reducing the delivery time of their products. Or for YouTube, it could be making your videos significantly shorter. Secondly, we can eliminate factors that the competition takes for granted. For example, think back to Cirque du Soleil, who completely got rid of all animal acts. Third, we can raise certain factors well above the standard. This could be production value, quality, price, or even the length of your videos. And finally, and probably most importantly, we can add new factors that our competition has never offered before. For example, Cirque du Soleil adding a storyline and theme to each of their performances, as well as artistic music and dance. And this, my friends, is where you truly create blue oceans. So by making the conscious choice to stop chasing the competition at their own game, which we'll never win at, and instead focusing on value innovation, reducing, eliminating, increasing, and creating, we can create a blue ocean of our own and see lasting success. And whether you are building a business or a YouTube channel, the principles within this book will help you differentiate yourself, appeal to a whole new audience, and help you make competition irrelevant.